You may know of Kim Jong Un as the dictator of North Korea, a repressive regime that poses a global nuclear threat. But how much do you know about the man himself? When Kim Jong Un took over from his father in 2011, he carried on promoting the military at home. North Korea now has a substantial military force, advanced military systems, and a significant arsenal of nuclear weapons. The regime has sent mixed signals to the rest of the world about its nuclear program and as a result poses a significant regional and global security threat. The state has strict control over the media and enforces obedience through the threat of torture, executions, imprisonment and forced labour. It's a country often cited as having one of the most severe human rights violations globally. And as one of the world's most secretive societies, little is known about its totalitarian leader. Here are some of the more unexpected details of his life. One of the most disturbing details to have emerged is that every year Kim Jong Un selects 25 young girls to be part of his so-called pleasure squad. The claim's been made by North Korean defector and outspoken YouTuber Yeonmi Park, who says that officials visit every classroom in the country in case they miss someone that was pretty. She says the young women are made to undergo medical examinations to check that they are still virgins, are then made to learn how to please the dictator and his inner circle, with those deemed the most attractive made to serve Kim Jong Un himself. Yeonmi Park fled the regime as a teenager.
When you're being picked, usually unless your family is so powerful, most of families are so excited their daughter is going to this part of this great honor serving the nation and their leader. And when you almost go being picked in this division, it's almost like sending your daughter to a military service to serve your nation. And once you go to Pyongyang, they make you stop being in contact with your own family members. So these young girls go to Pyongyang and they cannot reach out to their family members because they don't want them to leak any information. But when these girls reach 25 Korean age again, that is like 23 or 24 years old, your expectancy of being a pleasure squad member is done. You are getting out of there. They think you are too old.
Obviously, we have no idea what his wife thinks of these claims because he is married, although his wife, Ri Sol-ju, wasn't seen publicly for the first 4 years of their marriage and has also spent long periods of it out of the public eye. Again, not much is known about her. It's believed the couple have 3 children, a boy, a girl and another sibling whose gender intelligence services have not been able to confirm. Only his daughter has ever been seen in public. His family enjoy considerable wealth, as Kim Jong Un is estimated to be worth at least $5 billion, that's around £3.6 billion. His lavish lifestyle is quite the opposite of what most Koreans know. The majority of them live below the poverty line. But Kim Jong Un has a choice of places to stay. He reportedly owns 17 palaces dotted around the country, including one with its own 500-meter airstrip. His main home is in the country's capital, Pyongyang, and it's apparently nuclear attack-proof, protected by multiple military units, along with a high-voltage electric fence and even minefields. It even has its own train station underneath it, connecting it to some of his other properties. He also owns his own private party island, which has been described as like going to Hawaii or Ibiza by guests who've been invited there. Kim Jong Un also travels in luxury. His 95-foot yacht is described as a cross between a ferry and a Disney boat and thought to be worth around $7 million. He can also jet around the country aboard his private jetliner known as Air Force Un, which reportedly has crystal ashtrays and leather furnishings. North Korean leaders before him were known to favour travelling by armoured train, and Kim Jong Un is no exception. Last year he made it across Russia in a bulletproof, although very slow-moving train to meet President Vladimir Putin. The train is reported to be the height of opulence, with lavish interiors, including carriages filled with red leather armchairs, fine dining facilities, plush sleeping quarters, conference rooms and entertainment lounges. It's also thought to carry his armoured Mercedes, which is just one of 100 fleet of luxury cars that he owns. Now, international sanctions are in place which should stop Kim from importing luxury goods, but he has spent millions in illegal imports. These include musical instruments. It's thought he has at least 20 pianos dotted around his homes and possibly more. His personal collection of watches is estimated to be worth over $8 million. He's pictured wearing a Swiss watch worth around $10,000 during a nuclear missile test in 2019. And he's a big fan of whiskey, spending millions a year on shipping in thousands of bottles from all over the world, including expensive drinks like Hennessy, which can cost a couple of $1,000s a bottle. And of course, he favours decadent dishes like foie gras, lobster and caviar, and takes a team of his own chefs with him on international trips. They spend up to an hour tasting each of his meals before serving them to him to make sure they haven't been poisoned. As for hobbies, he's a huge fan of basketball. 3 members of the Harlem Globetrotters even travelled to North Korea to put on a strange exhibition game in 2013, which is how he made friends with Dennis Rodman, who's partied with him on his private island. He also loves horses and owns a number of thoroughbreds. He appeared to try to recreate Vladimir Putin's publicity stunt of riding a horse shirtless, although he did keep his clothes on. In fact, many of his propaganda images show Kim trekking up snowy mountains on a white stallion, which he believes instills confidence in his regime. And although the authoritarian state tries to maintain this mystery around its leader, the flamboyance he flaunts is obvious and a stark contrast to the living conditions of North Koreans who suffer frequent food shortages, lack of access to medicines and other necessities.